Hello again, it's Garson. This is going to be a quick guide for the College of Valor, the subclass for bards. Makes you into a bit of a fighter, but also we're just going to start a combat demo, of course, with Vicious Mockery. So we can inspire our allies, but we can also dish out fear and mockery. What I'm going to do is use Combat Inspire. It's the upgraded Bard Inspire. It adds damage and armor class depending on what you choose. You can go to the armor or the reactions tab right here. I'm going to go in for another attack with my ally. And I'm actually going to be inspired from this critical hit to do even more damage. Kaboom! But while we enhance our allies, we're no slouch in combat ourselves. So the Valor Bard gets medium armor, you get shields, and you get any martial weapon proficiency. So we're hard to hit, like this. Yeah. And then we can dish out the pain with extra attack, just like fighters, just like paladins. We get 2 attacks in Tactician and Honor mode even. We'll bop them and bop them again. And thanks to the Mystic Scoundrel Ring, and Bard just has tons of enchantment spells, we can actually cast with our bonus action in Act 3, we can get this ring. So if you set this guy up right, you can control the battlefield, dish out pain, inspire your allies, pick them back up with heals. There's really nothing you can't do on a Valor Bard. It's pretty awesome. So this guy runs away pissing his pants. I'm gonna go ahead, beat this guy up over here, help my ally out. I'm going to use a spell called Dissonant Whispers. It locks him into place for 2 turns, and he'll have disadvantage, making it easier for my paladin to get away to safety. And of course, I'm going to dish out some more pain, strike fear into my opponent, and take that. And like I said, you could do a lot. You're basically a Swiss Army knife of a character. You can do just about everything. You can fear your and mock your allies or your opponents, and you can inspire or heal your allies. So without further ado, let's get into the quick guide for the College of Valor. So a big thank you to you guys supporting the channel and making the request here. Obviously, we're going to do a quick guide, dive right in. In the pinned comment section, if you want to skip around, I do have timestamps. And this is very simple. If you've never played the subclass before, there won't be any multiclassing. And if you want to play this, I have a recommendation, just dive in and have fun. Tactician, even honor mode. Because what this is a caster and fighter rolled into one. You inspire your allies, and there's really no compromise. Even without multiclassing, you're going to be able to get extra attack at level 6, just 1 level after fighters do, which is actually kind of crazy considering you're a full caster with all the spell slots, right? And you actually have access to shields, medium armor, which means you can get heavy armor with a feat, and you have any weapon you can imagine. All of it is accessible thanks to level 3. And Bardic Inspiration gets a little upgrade to where you have armor class or weapon damage variants on top of the other options. So you may be saying, is that it? Well, you can get level 6 spells like Eye Bite. You have magical secrets, so you can get access to maybe haste or counter spell, something you don't normally get. And you have extra attack as a full caster. So I can't stress this enough. And people like to mix these two up. Basically, Swords Bard, the difference is Swords Bard's going to use Bardic Inspiration more selfishly with maneuvers, sort of like a battle maneuver, whereas a Valor Bard is going to use the Bardic Inspiration to inspire others since they can't use it on themselves. For stats, though, to keep it simple, the most important stat I feel is if you're taking this subclass, you want to hit with your weapon and you want to do bonus damage. So either strength or dex, maybe both. In this video, I'm going to go with strength, but I've easily made a dex Valor Bard, and typically it's what's recommended. So we're going to have some fun with strength, but charisma is also really valuable because it is your accuracy for spells, and you're mostly concerned with spell save DC on a lot of these spells, especially Vicious Mockery, right? So charisma gives us a spell accuracy, but it also gives us dialogue bonuses, so we can intimidate or persuade people with our expertise in charisma. So we have dialogue bonuses outside of combat and even shop discounts with persuasion. And of course, what character doesn't want HP and a little more concentration? So if we start my character right here, I actually went 17 strength, and we'll talk about that in a second, but we'll max out strength, we'll get good charisma, and we'll actually dump just about everything else to have some HP. And what I'm going to do with the first feat and that odd level of strength is we're going to bump it up to 18. And since level 3, getting the subclass gives us medium armor, we can actually access heavy armor with the first feat. So we get a 2-for-1 with this feat. We're going to take Alert at level 8, maybe earlier if you want to, but Alert gives us 5 initiative and we can't be surprised. So we make up for going no dexterity. We get some initiative here. And at level 12, just take whatever you want. I maxed out strength. It's a flex pick. So For all this equipment really rolls into one, but I feel it all feeds into the subclass too. You're a battle bard, so arcane acuity is excellent because the more we attack, the more spell save DC we can build up. So it's a great pairing. Otherwise, you can go for equipment that just flat out gives you better spell casting. So there is those options with the weave, for instance. Like I said, maybe find a good medium armor that has 15 armor class in the early game, but you can upgrade to heavy armor. Heavy armor's whole thing is good base armor class, and then maybe some other cool effects on it. Gloves of Baneful is a great example of hitting a target with a weapon will cause a debuff, making them more susceptible to, say, Dissonant Whispers or Vicious Mockery. And then we'll double down with Reverb from the Stormy Clamor. So these two combo together. When there's a condition you apply, you get this condition as well. So these go hand in hand, debuffing enemies. Amulet, you could really take anything. This is just flavorful for the Ray of Fear spell. The Ring of Mental Inhibition has the saving throw. Anytime you use a saving throw effect, they're actually going to get mental fatigue. So once again, a debuff. The more we land our dangerous control spells, the more they're susceptible to other spells. But the Mystic Scoundrel is amazing because in Act 3, we'll be able to attack with our weapon, and then any enchantment or illusion spell or cantrip can be cast with the bonus action. So we could do it all in Act 3. It's really crazy. So one of the great recommendations is Defender Flail is a +1 bludgeoning weapon that adds armor class, and Tenacity pretty much guarantees that we'll always get an effect like Baneful off and get some arcane acuity by landing a hit. And then you can just go for spells or shields. Shields are going to give you more tankiness, but they're also going to have a very powerful effect on them. And for ranged weapons, I wouldn't worry about anything other than the cool bonuses they have on them, like Initiative or the Banshee Bow's Frighten. So Vigilance is really great. Since we don't have Alert in the early game, you can actually get Alert in a bottle, and you can use that until you get the feat. Otherwise, I would go with Heroism, which is Bless in a bottle. Gives you accuracy in saving throws. Or if you want to throw out more spells, you can get a bonus to spell save DC by using the Battle Mage Elixir. Okay, so before we get into all the details, really simple. Through the entire playthrough, early on, just stay at range. You don't have armor yet, you're not a fighter yet, so just maybe Vicious Mockery, Bardic Inspire, Healing Word in the first couple levels. In Act 1, once you're level 3, put on that medium and armor and shields and go in like a fighter, and maybe just cast enhancement spells that don't have anything to do with accuracy, so you can buff yourself or allies, or outside of combat, enhance ability for dialogue. But in Act 2, we're going to have a lot more gear that supports casting and fighting, like Arcane Acuity. So you could bop somebody with your weapon and then cast a powerful control spell the next level, next turn. And in Act 3, thanks to the Mystic Scoundrel Ring, you'll be able to do the same thing, but in the same turn. So you'll bop them and then cast with a bonus action. So let's get into that nitty gritty. Longstrider, you should definitely have on a team. So definitely, if you don't have it already, maybe give 10 movement to you and your allies. And before you get any armor, you start out with light armor, but maybe try to find a shield and medium armor, maybe even heavy armor, so that when you're level 3, you can actually use this stuff. But let's talk about something that's going to help all game long. This is dialogue bonuses. Your charisma is really important, and Bard at level 3 gets expertise in a skill you choose. So for instance, I took Intimidation. Both my charisma and my expertise gives me a huge bonus to intimidating enemies, and I don't even have to fight them. So if I have enough bonuses and I use things like Enhance Ability or Friends Cantrip, I can get 2 dice, massive bonuses, and I should really never ever fail this check because I just have way too much. Even after a 17, I'm now up to 24, and so I don't have to fight these goblins, and I'll still get experience. And this is really valuable in honor mode where you can't take things back. You can still win fights outside of combat. So just keep that in mind. It's going to save you all game long. What about actual combat? Like I said in the early game, do not be frisky and try to run in. Just stay back, use Blade Ward to add some more defense to yourself. Maybe cast Heroism to give yourself temp HP every turn, and just use smart positioning like this high ground is going to keep me safe while I support the fighter on the low ground. I'm going to either inspire him with my bonus action, or I give him the heroism, or if he gets downed, I could actually safely pick him back up with a bonus action heal. So just use your spell slots conservatively in a smart way, and just maybe use Vicious Mockery on an opponent from distance, or maybe Whispers and Bane. But I really like Mockery. Watch what happens here. My fighter gets downed, I don't have to get down from my safe position. I can use my bonus action, pick him back up, and I can use Vicious Mockery. This guy's going to attack my fighter next turn. So what I'll do is a little bit of damage, but now he has disadvantage on his next attack. And guess what? Because of that, he misses the target, right? So my fighter can heal himself back up now that he's back up from Healing Word. This guy goes in, misses because of the disadvantage. And this is what I'm talking about. Just be smart with positioning until you get that medium armor at level 3, because now we can be the fighter guy on the front line and even more. So we're going to equip a shield and medium armor, get those expertise choices I was talking about for outside of combat, but inside combat, now you can be the frontline guy if you so choose, right? And we have an ally here who's surrounded. So here's an example of baning targets. This is going to be the opposite of Bless. They now have a 1d4 penalty to accuracy, and it's really easy to hit the charisma for this spell save, right? So now they have this this big debuff on their attack rolls, and this guy surrounded, and plus myself, I'm in the melee range as well. So it's going to be a lot easier to keep my allies and myself safe and dish out the pain with some weapon attacks. So level 4, we'll skip ahead, but real quick, actually, let me show you real quick with combat inspiration. So at level 3, you also upgrade Bardic Inspiration. My fighter can now do even more damage when I inspire him. So this is adding a 1d6 on top of his successful weapon attack, right? So he'll do the damage right here. Oh, and do the damage right here, right? But I can also add in more damage with the Bardic Inspiration, giving my allies even more damage, making them stronger and better, right? All right, now let's move on to level 4. Sorry about that. So level 4, what I've opted to do, and a cool example is I can actually equip heavy armor, and I won't lose out on any stat gains, because if I go strength, I can get heavy armor plus 1 strength with the heavily armored feat. So I actually get a 2-for-1 combo on this. It brings me from 17 to 18 strength, and I have much better armor class, because what I'm going to do is buy a heavy armor from Damon, and this is going to raise me from 16 to 19 armor class in Act 1, and then I have it for the rest of the game, right? So this is a crazy good thing you can do with Valor Bard if you want to go the strength route, for instance. So now you can play frontline, get those opportunity and melee attacks, and your actions really in the early game attack, but you can also obviously cast things like Bane that's going to help you and your allies stay alive. And if you need to, use Blade Ward, the cantrip that actually gives you some resistances. So that's not a bad choice either. Bonus actions, you might want to inspire, or like I said, pick up a downed ally. So these are really important. And let's look at some spells real quick. These do upcast. Cloud of Daggers is great for controlling an area, and it's guaranteed damage for anyone who does step into it. Whispers is awesome because, like I said in the demo, you can lock somebody down, do some damage, and for 2 turns, they'll have disadvantage on their attack rolls. Bane, you saw how useful this could be, and can upcast and hit more targets, but it's easy to land the charisma saving throw. It lowers their attack rolls, and it's just easier to land even more conditions since it nerfs their saving throws. Hold position is super popular for guaranteed crits in the melee range while paralyzing a target. And don't forget, at level 2 as a bard, you get another short rest. So warlocks, monks, fighters, they're going to love you. And outside of combat, you can enhance and give advantage to pickpocketing or dialogue checks. So don't forget about this as well. And then in Act 2, it's going to be more of the same, but we can be way less conservative. At level 5, your Bardic Inspiration comes back on short rest, so you just sling this out, enhance your allies. And level 6, you're really dishing out pain with the extra attack. So you can attack twice with your weapon attacks, and you can find really powerful gear like Arcane Acuity that rewards you with spell accuracy for attacking a few times, right? So Arcane Acuity, when you attack, you add spell save DC for a couple of turns, and then you have more spell slots, more inspires, so just be less conservative with slinging out control spells like Dissonant Whispers or Fear, and just build up the spell accuracy by attacking. Control spells really divide forces, and you can also enhance your allies more and more with the inspires. And freedom of movement is really good, so don't forget this, don't sleep on this. For 1 level 4 spell slot, you just ignore terrain, and you can't be paralyzed or restrained. In Act 3, it's just more of the basics I taught you. So the Mystic Scoundrel Ring is awesome because this little ring right here can be found really early in Act 3. And when you land a successful weapon attack, like Tenacity almost guarantees it, you can cast the spell with your bonus action as long as it's enchantment or illusion. and we get a lot of those as a bard. For instance, there's a lot more spell slots, and you're getting really powerful spells like Eye Bite or Hold Monster. So maybe pick up some of these, or just upcast old spells that get even stronger when you use higher spell slots. And at level 10, you get magical secrets. So I took Haste. A fighter at level 11 gets triple attack, so you can have triple attack at level 10 effectively, or you can have counterspell. So even if you're not into the whole spell casting thing, you can stop attackers with counterspell on reaction, for instance. But this really opens up a lot of what you can do. There's way too many options. I'll talk about multiclassing right out the gate at level 3 or 4. You can have your first feat and just an incredible base character because you have strong inspire, you have medium armor, you have shields without any multiclassing just yet, you have any weapon you can choose, and you're a full spellcaster up to that point, right? So there's just tons of things you could do with the next like 8 levels or whatever, and you already have a feat to start off right. Level 6, we get extra attack. So we have extra attack, we have level 3 spell slots like Fear, or maybe, well, you can use this with a wizard haste, right? But Inspire returns on short rest. You have good spell choices. So there's a lot you could do with the other remaining 6 levels. A really crazy character, but I think this is most popular because of the extra attack right there. Level 8 and 9 shouldn't be counted out because you're getting another feat. Your combat inspiration dice goes up, and your level 5 spell slots means you can do a lot of damage with, say, Cloud of Daggers, or maybe Dissonant Whispers, or just higher level spells in general. But magical secrets, I think this is one of the best bangs for your buck, because now you can access spells you can't normally access, like haste or counterspell. Like I said, there's so many options here, and your combat inspire is as strong as it's ever going to be. You still have 2 levels to dip into things and make a really crazy character. So any tech and info I can give, well, the first and foremost is this is a Swiss Army knife of a character. I've made and played on stream a dexterity Valor Bard, no multiclassing. You're a full caster with extra attack, expertise at level 3, charisma, so you can just be the face of the party and talk to people, get really good shop prices, or tell them to kill themselves, and you get even more spells at level 10. It's crazy what you can do with just a Valor Bard. Spell accuracy, by the way, let's just keep it simple. The more charisma you have, the better chance your spell save DC is harder to miss. And then focus on enhancement. If you don't like spell casting, just maybe buff yourself with heroism and your allies, right? And you can use that bardic inspiration, right? But otherwise, spell save DC is really what you're going to use more often than not. So you have to raise this, and it goes up against your enemies' saving throws. So something like a charisma saving throw on the Bane spell, right? So saving throws. As for spell attack, it doesn't really play into a lot of these spells, but it's very similar to the attack roll of your weapons. Acuity is the way to go, in my opinion, because we can reward ourselves for attacking. It's great with extra attack. We basically get 2 more spell save DC every time we land a hit, and then it lets you just focus in on the attacking stats and doing the damage first, and then you can actually cast some spells, right? So taking damage will lower acuity, so this is why I built my character so tanky with armor class, and it combos incredibly with the Mystic Scoundrel Ring because we do 2 extra attacks. We'll have 4 extra spell accuracy, so the bonus action, we can drop a powerful spell all in one turn. It's kind of crazy. So combat inspire, let's just do a quick example right here. So don't forget that combat inspire, if you want a specific effect here on your ally, go into the reactions tab after you've been inspired, and you can just maybe block these out. I want more damage, so I'm going to only highlight and ask on this one on reaction, and that's the one I'll use without blowing the other effects. But it is a 1d6, and this gets into a 1d8 and a 1d10 as you level up your bard. It adds 2 more options on top of what the Bardic Inspiration already normally does, the attack rolls, ability checks, saving throws. You can now add more damage or armor class, remember that. And just set the reaction tab like I said, but that's pretty much going to do it. This was a quick guide. I'm going to have some older videos talking about Valor Bard, or maybe some playlists where I played one, but I just want to see you guys come join the live stream. I play honor mode with any number of characters, multi-classing or just pure class, to inspire you to get your golden dice or just go replay it, because I'm obsessed with this game and I love talking to people and hearing the comments in the chat. I love what you guys have to say. So you guys are my sponsor, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Maybe I'll check you out in the video on the left and right here, but otherwise, thank you everybody who supports the channel for just $1 a month. Or maybe if you jump into chat on live stream, they'll throw a gift support member at you too. But until then, go play a Valor Bard, and I'll see you in the next one.